Dear students, today we will study about Bohr's atomic model. That is very important topic of structure of atom. Before Bohr's atomic model, we have studied about Rutherford's nuclear model and drawbacks of Rutherford model. We know that the Rutherford's atomic model could not explain stability of atom because in Rutherford atomic model it was considered that electron continuously moving around nucleus in a circular orbit. And according to Maxwell's theory, Maxwell's electromagnetic theory, if a charged particle like electron is continuously moving around nucleus or in magnetic field, it will continuously emit radiation energy. So the energy of electron decreases continuously, and a time will come when the electron will come very closer to the nucleus and it will fall in the nucleus, and atom will lose its stability. But we know that atoms are quite stable. So Rutherford's atomic model could not explain how the atoms are stable, how the electrons are stable in their orbits. So to sort out these problems, in 1930, Niels Bohr proposed his atomic model. According to Bohr's atomic model, electrons move around nucleus in circular orbits, but only some specified orbits having definite amount of energy are permitted. It means electrons revolve around nucleus only in those orbits which have fixed amount of energies, and these orbits are also called energy level of cell and represented as K, L, M, and cell or energy levels are E1, E2, E3, E4, so on. Now, the second important point of Bohr's model is that each energy level or orbit has definite or fixed amount of energy, and the energy of each orbit is in a whole number multiple of a fixed amount of energy. Such distribution of energy in whole number multiple of a fixed amount of energy is called quantization of energy. Now, while revolving in these orbits, electrons do not emit any kind of energy. It means the energy of each orbit is fixed and remain unchanged. Till the electron move in their orbits, it neither absorb nor lose any kind of radiation energy. So the energy of each orbits or energy levels remain constant. So these orbits are also called stationary orbits. The next important point is that only those orbits or those energy levels are allowed for the motion of electron in which the angular momentum of electron. Now, electron, suppose this is electron having mass m and its radius of orbit is r and its linear velocity is v, then the angular momentum of electron and v are, so those orbits in which the angular momentum of electron are equal to h upon 2 pi or whole multiple of h upon 2 pi. Whole number multiple means either it is h upon 2 pi or it's 2 times, that is 2h upon 2 pi, or 3h upon 2 pi, 3 times or 4h upon 2 pi. So only those orbits are allowed for the orbit motion of electron in which its angular momentum is whole multiple of h upon 2 pi, where h is a constant known as Planck's constant and n is integer. So here n is 1, 2, 3, 4, dot dot. Now, if the angular momentum of electron in first orbit, that is E1, for E1 we can write for E1 for K cell n equal to 1, then angular momentum mvr equal to h upon 2 pi. For L cell n equal to 2, then mvr, that is angular momentum, equal to 2h upon 2 pi. For third cell, it will n will be 3, then it will 3h upon 2 pi. It means the angular momentum is also quantized. Quantized means it is whole multiple of h upon 2 pi, and h upon 2 pi is the angular momentum of first orbit. Such whole number multiple form of distribution of angular momentum is called quantization of angular momentum. Similarly, the energy of electron in energy levels or cell is also distributed in quantized order. For example, if the energy of first cell E1 equal to h nu, where h is a Planck constant and nu is frequency of electron in first orbit. It is lowest frequency. Then the energy of second cell will be just twice of energy of first cell. It means it will be 2h nu, and the energy of third cell will be 3h nu, and fourth cell will be 4h nu. It means the energy of electron in different energy level or orbits is distributed in whole multiple order. It means the energy of electron in any orbit is not in fraction or in decimal. It is in whole multiple. For example, if we distribute pen among the students, we will distribute 1 pen, 2 pen, 3 or 4 pen. We cannot distribute 1.5 pen, 2.5 pen. Similarly, the energy of electron in energy levels is also in whole multiple of a simple package of energy, and that simple package of energy is called quanta, and this distribution is called quantized form of energy. So the simplest amount of energy is 1 quanta, second cell 2 quanta, third 3 quanta, 4 quanta. Now here h is Planck constant, nu is frequency of electron. Now, according to Bohr's model, when electron revolves in its own orbit, its energy remains constant. So it will not fall in the nucleus because its energy will remain constant. So it will move in its own orbit with a constant amount of energy. But when electron gets some energy from outside or external source in form of radiation energy or any mechanical work or heat or light radiation, then when it absorbs some energy from outside, it gets excited and it jumps from lower energy cell to higher energy cell. For example, if electron absorbs delta E amount of energy, it will go from E1 cell to E2 cell, or E1 energy level to E2, and the amount of energy absorbed will be equal to the energy gap between these two energy levels. But in higher energy orbits, electron cannot remain for a long time. it can only stay up to 10 power minus 8 second. 10 power minus 8 second. That is very small time gap. So within this time gap, the electron will again fall from higher energy level to lower energy level. And when it falls from higher energy level to lower energy level, it emits some radiation energy. And the energy emitted by the electron when it falls from higher cell to lower cell will be equal to the energy gap between these two energy levels of cell. Now, Bose also given some derivation for calculation of energy level of cell. Now, if the energy of nth orbit or nth energy level En cell is equal to minus k square 2 pi square and e power 4 z square on n square h square. In this equation, En is energy of nth energy level of nth orbit. K is Coulomb's constant and m is mass of electron, E is charge of electron, n number of cell. For first cell n is 1, second 2, third cell or third energy level n is 3. H is Planck's constant and Z is atomic number of that atom. Now, students, in above equation, K is Coulomb constant. The value of K is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. And its value is 9 into 10 power 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. Epsilon naught is called permittivity of free space. Permittivity of free space. It is another constant. It's called permittivity of free space. It is a constant for Coulombic force, that is the attraction between charges. Now, m is mass of electron. Its value is 9.1 10 power minus 31 kg. E is charge of electron. Its value is 1.6 10 power minus 19 coulomb. H is Planck constant and its value is 6.62 6 10 power minus 34 joule into second. N is number of cell or number of that orbit, that is E1, E2, E3 energy level. Now, Z is atomic number of that element. For hydrogen, Z is 1. So, if we put the value of these constants, we will get a charge of electron, mass of electron, will get the following equation. Now, above equation can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught square. This is for Coulomb constant. And the energy of orbit or energy level will be negative. For hydrogen atom, Z equal to 1, atomic number of hydrogen is 1. So it can be written as minus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught square 2 pi square and e power 4 upon n square h square joule per atom. It means this amount of energy in joule is the energy of nth cell of one atom. Now putting the value of 4 pi 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, that is Coulomb constant pi m e n and h, we get the following value. The energy of young orbit will be equal to minus 2.178 into 10 power minus 18 upon m square joule per atom. This value we will get when we will put the value of all the constant. Now, if we can change this value in terms of joule per mole and kilojoule per mole also. Now see, it is energy of one atom, nth cell of one atom. For first cell we will put n equal to 1, for second cell n equal to 2, for third cell n equal to 3. If we want to know the energy of first cell of hydrogen, we will put n equal to 1. Then 1 square equal to 1, so we will get E1 equal to minus 2.178 10 power minus 18 joule. That is the energy of first cell of hydrogen atom. Now, for one mole atom, energy will be it is joule per mole. For one mole atom, we know that in one mole, number of atom is equal to 6.022 10 power 23. That is equal to Avogadro number. So for one mole atom, energy will be, this value will be multiplied with Avogadro number. So we get following value. This will come joule per mole. Now, we will convert this value into kilojoule per mole. We will get the following value in kilojoule per mole. In kilojoule per mole, it will come minus 1312 upon n square. It is kilojoule per mole. Kilojoule per mole. Here the negative sign. The negative sign for the energy of electron in its orbit or energy level is because it shows that the energy of electron in orbits or energy level is due to the attraction between nucleus and electron, because nucleus is positive charge and electron is negative, and according to the sign convention, during attraction the energy releases, and so the due to release of energy the potential energy of atom decreases, so its sign will be negative. According to sign convention of thermodynamics, if there is attraction between two opposite charges, energy releases. Due to the attraction between opposite charges, between electron and nucleus, and due to release of energy, the sign will be negative. And in case of similar charges, there will be repulsion. So the sign will be positive, but in case of attraction the sign will be negative. Now of orbits. Bohr's also given an expression to find out radius of orbits, and its value is the radius of nth orbit, that is Rn, equal to, it is 4 pi epsilon naught into n square h square upon 4 pi square n e power 4 into z. Now we can cancel 4 and pi square, so we will get its value n square h square upon pi m e power 4 into z. Putting the values of these constant, we will get the following value, that is Rn equal to 0.529 into 10 power minus 10 upon into n square, n is number of cell, upon z. Meter, it will come in meter. This is radius of n orbit. Now 10 power minus 10 meter is equal to 1 angstrom. So we can simplify this value. This value can be simplified as radius of nth orbit equal to 0.529 into n square upon z angstrom. This is radius for nth orbit. For hydrogen, z equal to atomic number equal to 1, and for first cell, that is K cell, n equal to 1. So the radius of first orbit of hydrogen atom, that is R1, equal to 0.529. You will put here 1 square, 1 for first cell, and z equal to 1 for hydrogen. So the radius of first cell of hydrogen is this angstrom. It is represented by R1 or R0 because it is radius of hydrogen atom. So it is represented by R0 because hydrogen is the smallest atom and the first cell is the smallest cell. So the radius of first cell of hydrogen is the smallest radius of the orbit. So it is represented by R0 and its value will be this one. Okay, from these equations you can calculate radius and energy of orbits, and you can solve numerical problems based on these equations.